Hey folks, Post here, welcome back to another Pokemon Masters video, and another week, we got another banner, and that means we're gonna go over if this banner is worth summoning or not. So, later today, at reset time, we should be getting Leaf and Eevee's banner, and from what we know so far, it should be a non-Pokefair banner, just a regular Spotlight Scout, and that means, no boosted 5-star rates, no exclusive sync pairs, none of all that, but it is Leaf, so if you like Leaf, summon for it, I guess. If you like Eevee, if you like Leaf, go for it. But otherwise, let's go through the details and see if it's actually worth summoning on a non-Pokefair banner. So, anyways, Leaf and Eevee, they are a support type. They're normal, weak against fighting. Normal means they're not going to be super effective against anyone, but that's fine. It's a support. It's not here to do damage anyways. And also has, non-normal type moves. So, even if you want to do damage, I guess you can. So, it's 5-star, obviously. Well, it's a summonable unit, so it's 5-star. And as for its stats, it has some pretty insane stats. Like, if you check the bulk, and, 636 HP, 208 defense, and 209 special defense. That's pretty nice. Overall, rank 3rd in bulk of all the Pokemon, right? Number 1 should still be Rosa, and then number 2 is Dusclops, I think. Let me check. Is there by bulk or something? Top Pokemon by bulk? I would assume so. And, yeah, Phoebe, Dusclops, and Rosa Superior. Which is pretty good. You're doing really, really good here, right? In terms of your tankiness. And that tankiness is actually extremely helpful for Leaf and Eevee, because what you want to do here is, not die. Because that's kind of how your moveset works. So in terms of Leaf's or Eevee's other stats, 182 attack, 142 special attack, 221 speed. None of those really matter, including speed, which is kind of rare because, sometimes you want your support to have some speed, just so, when the support dies or when you're swapping it out, you could have some move gauges for your next Pokemon, right? But you don't need that with Eevee at all because Eevee is a move gauge recoverer. So, anyways, let's go over its moves. So, first of all, a Tackle, which is, Tackle, 25 power, a 1-bar move, 100% accuracy, no additional effects. Everyone knows what a Tackle is, right? Second move, Potion, which is, heals 40% of your ally's HP, one ally, right? Which is cool, I guess. Potion's nice. And then Iron Tail, this is your, big damaging move, but, you're not going to do any damage because, your attack stats so low. I mean, I guess you can, do some damage if you really want to because, you do have, attack buffing moves. But, again, you're not going to use Eevee for attacking. It's a support. It's a pure support, right? So 132 power, which is, that's a lot of power. 75% accuracy, though, so that kind of sucks. 3 cost, single target, moderate chance of lowering the target's defense. So there's that as well, maybe. Maybe there's, an extremely niche scenario where you need to use Iron Tail, but generally you're not going to use it. And then your last move, Let's Go, increases move gauges of all allied sync pairs by 2, sharply raises the user's attack. This is cool, I guess. It only raises your own attack, which is fine. And you might be wondering, hey, this is a port. You're not helping everyone except for, Potion and then increase move gauge. And that's potatoes, right? But not really, because your sync move is your ultimate support move. So it does no damage, right? It's a sync move that doesn't do damage. It increases your move gauge by the sync move's current level. So if you're sync move 5, you're going to get 5 move gauges. Sharply raises attack, defense, special defense, and accuracy of all sync pairs. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff, right? Attack, defense, special defense, and accuracy. So you're missing what? Evasion, speed, and crit, which admittedly are pretty, decent stats to have. Maybe not so much evasion, but at least speed and crit. But attack, special attack, defense, special defense, and accuracy, these are all really, really good ones to have as well. So, if you're wondering, okay, what's the big deal with that? Well, if you go over its passives, it has, first of all, Impervious. Stats can be lower. And Benefactor, which transfers this sync pair's stat increases to the sync pair that will switch in when this sync pair switches out. So this is basically Baton Pass. You get a Baton Pass Eevee. Your sync move, increases almost every stat, and then you could just Baton Pass them off to whichever other, striker that's coming in, so you don't have to set up with that striker. Or if it's a striker, even better, if it's a striker that doesn't have any, self-sustainability, like Lance and Dragonite, right? You don't have special attack up, you don't have physical attack up, you don't have, anything, right? Going for a Lance. You just have Hyper Beam, and it has a 10% chance to miss 4 gauges, right? And, Eevee, you also got accuracy, so you can make sure the Dragonite coming in won't miss its Hyper Beam, in this case, if it hits, right? And also, you increase its, special attack and attack. And if you're wondering, it's only by 2, it's not that big of a deal. That's true. 2's not that big of a deal. But what if your whole team, there's 3 Eevees. 3 Eevees. And they all sync move. And again, this, this is for all allies, right? So all your allies get this as well. And if all 3 of you guys sync move, everyone's going to get +6 attack, +6 defense, +6 special attacks, +6 special defense, and +6 accuracy off a triple sync move. Just like that. +6 to all these stats. And then you swap it out. New one comes in. Don't need to set up. You just start hitting. Unless maybe, if you want crit or something, speed, maybe. But, aside from that, even if you don't have, 3, if it's, 2 plus, a Dusclops or something, that also gives you crit to pass on, right? That's great. Because, Dusclops, you can only pass it on to yourself, to your own striker, right? Eevee only pass it on to your own as well. But, with this effect, actually, that's not the point I was trying to make. But anyways, Dusclops, it passes on to your own next striker that's coming in, or tech unit if you want, or support maybe. But it passes it on to your next unit after it dies. But it only passes on, it only passes half the stats. Eevee is just full stats. So, if Dusclops gives you +3 crit, you pass on +3 crit. Imagine Dragonite with +3 crit, +6 special attack, +6 to both its defenses, and max accuracy. That's going to make Dragonite insane. That's going to make Dragonite so much better than it is right now. Some other examples, like Hilda, right? Hilda takes forever to set up, right? It doesn't take forever, but, it takes a while to set up. And then after you pass this on to Hilda, you just start Flare Blitzing right away, which may not be a really great thing because, you're going to die really soon. But you will do a lot of damage to your opponent, so there's that as well, right? And, just all the other types of units that don't have any of this. Even if you don't have crit buffs, right? You're passing, if you for example, pass on +6 special attack, +6 defense, +6 special defense to a Mewtwo, which has crit buffs himself and also evasion, but just lacks special attack buffs and also can't take that many hits, honestly. So you're getting +4 evasion from Mewtwo, +3 crit, and also you're getting +6 special attack, +6 to both defenses, and Mewtwo is going to be insane. So a lot of people, another point, a lot of people have been talking about, Impervious. Impervious is going to get nerfed because, now everyone's just going to get this, skill, right, or whatever. But in Eevee's case, Impervious just makes it better because Eevee does pass on defensive stats. And defensive stats, after the sync move change, for those of you who don't know, they are contemplating, changing enemy sync moves so that they don't wipe out your stats after they use their sync moves. So if they implement that change, you pass on defenses and they don't get wiped, that's going to be pretty massive for a lot of the strikers, especially, folks like Mewtwo, Sceptile, Olivia, those who are a bit more frail, these glass cannons, Lucario, right? That's another big one. Infernape, with Infernape being insane right now, right? So imagine if you pass these defensive stats on to like Torkoal, who's actually tanky, or Dragonite, who's actually tanky already and could do a lot of damage. That's just gonna be so good, and they can't get their defenses null anymore. So even though again impervious Pokemon are gonna get hit here, but that actually helps Eevee because it just makes passing on defenses much more valuable. So Eevee, as you can see, I'm a fan. I think Eevee's pretty good. Eevee is actually super controversial in the community. A lot of people don't think Eevee's that great. Like, it's either people think Eevee's mediocre, or other people think Eevee's really, really good. I don't think Eevee's the best support, but Eevee's definitely really, really, I think it's up there, right? Again, Dusclops is kind of insane. Dusclops does have crit, which is huge, which Eevee doesn't, right? Same with Torchic. Torchic has crit, Eevee doesn't. Crit is such an important stat in this game. But, you know, if you're a dedicated support, you know, you could throw Eevee in there. Eevee's really, really good, obviously. And again, if you have that scenario where all three of you guys are running Eevees, that's +6 stats passed on to your next striker in both defensive stats and offensive stats, and especially the defensive stats once the changes come through, right? That's, in my opinion, incredibly overlooked. That I'm surprised people aren't talking about it as much as you know, I think folks should be, right? Because, you know, up to this point, the meta has just been DPS. It's just been whoever does the most damage the quickest is better. And that's true, right? Because, you know, if you don't do damage fast enough, your opponent's just going to sync move and just wipe out all your stats, and then you basically become a potato, right? And you don't want to be a potato, right? Well, I mean, it depends. Some people like potatoes, but that's fine. But if you get your stats wiped out, like, what the heck are you going to do? But now that they don't wipe them out, defenses just became much, much more relevant, right? So, yeah, again, overall, I think Eevee's great, especially when you pair it with sync pairs that need a lot of help, right? Again, Dragonite's your prime example of that. Dragonite's your prime example. Dude has no buffs at all. Hits like a truck, but has no buffs. It just can't help itself at all. And also, you have the move gauge thing to, you know, give to Dragonite as well. Not this, but well, I mean both, I guess. Which Dragonite does need a lot of move gauge as well, so that helps maybe. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say about Eevee for the most part. So now on to the difficult part is, should you pull on Leaf and Eevee's banner? Again, of course, if it's your favorite character, go for it. But if you don't really care about getting Leaf as a character and as a unit, this is honestly, in my opinion, a tough one, because is Leaf and Eevee good? Yes, I think they're really good. But are they worth pulling on a non-Pokefair banner? And knowing that 6-month anniversary is coming up, which could potentially have some really, really interesting stuff. That's hard to balance, right? Because again, it's not a Pokefair banner, which means Leaf will be appearing on every single banner going forward, right? You have a chance to get Leaf on every banner, but at a very, very, very low rate. It's going to be what? Almost like 0.2%, you know, when the next banner rolls around, right? Or something insane like that. So it's going to be hard to get Leaf in the future, but it's not impossible, right? You know, you have a chance, but it's going to be much more difficult, right? But on the other hand, Leaf is pretty nice. So again, this is a tough one. I'd say it really depends on how you're doing yourself. You know, you have to kind of evaluate this yourself, because if you think that you need help, your team needs help, if you're struggling with some challenges that you just can't beat, right? If you're struggling with some of the game content, then I would suggest this would be a decent banner to pull on. If not, if you're fine, if you're just cruising through all the content, which I know a lot of you guys are, if you're not having too much trouble, if you're just farming right now, if you're good, if you like cleared everything, then I don't think Leaf's that big of a deal. Obviously, Leaf's great, but you'll survive without Leaf if you already got a really, really decent collection of units, right? Again, say if you don't have Dusclops, if you don't have, you know, any of the other better supports, stuff like Hilbert or whatever, and you need decent support, that's not one of the free-to-play ones, which, by the way, the free-to-play ones are really, really good. And even like non-free-to-play ones, like the 3-star ones, Roxanne, all that, they're also really, really good. But it's just no one does what Eevee does. No one does what Eevee does. I mean, Dusclops kind of does it, but like half. But Dusclops also gives crit, which is nice. But I probably said a lot of butts in this video. I don't know why. Anyways, back to the topic. Eevee, again, I think this is a tough one. I really can't give you a yes or no answer. It really depends on your box, what you need, right? If you think you need Eevee, if you're struggling with some challenges, if you think your supports aren't good enough, then sure, you could go for Eevee. If not, if you're doing fine, then I would maybe skip, because again, keep in mind 6-month anniversary is coming up at the end of next month, which is still a while, but they could throw us some pretty interesting stuff beforehand, or during the 6-month anniversary, which I would assume would be when the next Poke Fairs drop. Either that, or maybe like early next month, and then they'll like drop Poke Fairs at the end of next month as well, just because 6-month anniversary. Just because we haven't had Poke Fairs in, I mean, like 2 weeks, right? So I always assumed, like, they, again, basing off absolute nothing, I would think they'd give us like Poke Fairs at least once a month. Again, basing off nothing at all. But who knows? Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below if you guys are pulling for Eevee or not. I will be pulling for Eevee. When Eevee comes out, there will be a live stream, and the live stream will not be choppy anymore. It's going to be fine. It's going to be great. I got better streaming equipment. It won't be as terrible as the last few ones. So anyways, tune in to the live stream as soon as Eevee drops. If I could make it home in time. I do have, night class tomorrow, unfortunately, but if I could make it home in time, which I probably would, we will be summoning for Eevee live, and that would be cool. So anyways, that's me for this one. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, enjoy this video, subscribe to the channel for some more Pro content, and I'll see you guys later tonight during the summon then.